Sally Litchfield, who have battled, and there are many others who have battled down the years to keep the flag of our culture flying, and I think people like those deserve a round of applause from you all. The young people that we have in Comhaltas are a credit to the Comhaltas organisation. They can hold their heads high on any platform or in any international festival all over the world. They are renowned for their friendship, their performances of Irish dancing and in particularly Irish music, and their singing. I think we can be very, very proud of them, and we here in Ulster are very, very proud of Comhaltas and what Comhaltas has done for us and done for our young people. So I want to thank in particular the branches of Ulster who have done tremendous work to keep the culture alive, and long may it continue, and that in the end of the next 50 years that the culture will be still as strong and as firm here in Ulster as it is elsewhere in Ireland and elsewhere throughout the world. I hope it'll be even 50 times stronger. So without any further to do, I want to introduce you to a man who has always never let us down at Ulster level when it came to officially opening Ulster Fleadh. He is the leader of our organisation. He does tremendous work for our organisation. I don't think people realise what he does for the organisation. It's only us, I suppose, that are on the Ard Comhairle, are involved with Provincial Council, that understands the amount of this, what the work this man does. I now give you Senator Laross O'Murchu, Director General of Comhaltas Comhairle.
A Cahir League, a Charde, Gunn sé áthas críormsa, tacht ó cúige mún, go cúige ola, agus fleadceol oscailt, fleadceol ola a oscailt go hifigúil. Agus is mílam tréslú leis an goiste, a tátaréis an ócáid seo a agrú. Is tína iad a bhíon ag obair go Jónach, gan stad gan stéine, le cinú go mbeadh ard caidán in san Gaelachas. Mullam iad go hard. Mullam na ceoltóirí ar fad agus na rincóirí agus na háránathe a bheith seo don deireadh seachtaine, mar is iad siúd boncloch na glúiseachta. Mullam na créimhacha comá, má tása go má, go bhfuil siad ag saothrú an cultúr Gaeilge le fada an lá. As a Munster man coming to Ulster, it's a great honour to be asked to open your provincial fleadceol. And I would like to start by paying a tribute to my good friend Pat Bacon. It's really his honour to open the fleadh, but he has asked me to do it. Pat comes from the County Monaghan, and it's possibly symbolic that one of the two surviving founders of Comhaltas, Paddy McIlvany, comes from the same region as Pat does. So it's very timely and very appropriate that he should be in charge and leading the Provincial Council of this ancient province in the 50th anniversary of the founding of Comhaltas. Ireland is a particularly small country and a small population, and yet our people have travelled to the four corners of the earth and in many ways made an impact wherever they went. And I think it's true to say that Irish people from the length and breadth of this island, wherever they have travelled, have always found friendship and never found hostility. I suppose one of the main reasons for that is that we never colonised any other country. We sent our people abroad as missionaries to help developing legislatures, to give any help we could in wherever people needed support. And among those people were Irish traditional musicians. And if you look back on the early exodus from Ireland, the one thing that they kept alive and were able to keep alive as a badge of their identity was our Irish music. And many of them recorded it and put it on the old 78 records. And when they came back to Ireland, it was a huge occasion in a parish when a new record arrived. And the person lucky enough to own the wind-up gramophone that you may all remember, the people would gather at that house to hear the music of that new record. So in a way, our music travelled abroad and then came back to us again. And today it's possibly one of the most cohesive elements of our nationhood. And I'd make a very definite point here in this historic town that that music belongs to all the people. It's the music of all the people on this island, our Irish people, wherever they foregather. But it has also become the music of the world fraternity. It's interesting to note, for instance, that the most recent branch of Comhaltas Ceoltóirí Éireann was founded not in Macroom, but in Moscow. The largest branch in the world is in Budapest, with 450 registered members. Last St. Patrick's Day, on the thoroughfare of Tokyo, young Japanese boys and girls of the Tokyo branch danced sets, played Irish music as they walked in the St. Patrick's Day parade. And that story has been repeated and repeated and repeated in the 400 branches of Comhaltas that are to be found worldwide. It must be difficult for us in a way, when reminiscing in this 50th anniversary, to try to visualize what it was like for that small group of people who gathered in Mullingar in County Westmeath in 1951. Ireland was a very different country at that particular time. There was huge emigration out of Ireland. We certainly didn't have the affluence we have at the present time. And I suppose things of a cultural and spiritual nature weren't always on the top of the priority list. But those men and women who gathered in Mullingar had confidence in the ancient and rich heritage of Ireland, a heritage that is much more powerful than our more recent political divisions. And I think music, above all else, should be able to bridge the gaps between communities, because after all, down through the years, we have found, particularly in Northern Ireland, that all people were able to embrace one common cause, and that was the music of Ireland. And I would hope that our next vision for Comhaltas would be to make our contribution to that type of Ireland as well. We didn't decide on celebrating 50 years in order to blow trumpets, or to pat ourselves on the back, or to beat drums. No, it was to reinvigorate the ideals which we inherited from those great people who founded Comhaltas the first day. I had the opportunity last April of attending the North American Convention of Comhaltas Ceoltóirí Éireann in Toronto. Over 2,000 delegates travelled from all over the United States and Canada, and they had one aim and one aim only. And that was to show, first of all, the reverence that they had for the traditional arts of Ireland, which in many ways would have provided them with cultural sustenance in their newly adopted country. But at the same time, they also wanted to highlight that they were part of the Irish diaspora, that worldwide, wherever Irish people gather, while they respect everybody else's culture, and respect everybody else's music, they genuinely believe that the music that has been passed down to us can compare with any music in the world. And that is underlined by the fact that so many other nationalities have embraced that music as well. I'd also make another appeal perhaps this evening, as I have done at all the provincial Fleadh this year. And that is that now that the music is in such a healthy state and has been demonstrated so well here this evening by the Cross Keys group, as it is such a healthy state, let's look at the other elements of our culture, and in particularly the Irish language. Again, it's a classic language. It's a language that has a background, perhaps, that would compare with the background of any language in the world. And much of our thought process has come from that language as well. You don't have to be very fluent. You don't have to be able to read a book. You don't have to be able to have a continuous conversation in Irish. But a language of such importance will only continue to be a living language if we all use a little of it whenever the opportunity comes. I'd also like to say that as a movement, Comhaltas has been particularly fortunate with the young people who have been involved in it. There are many people who will tell you that all communities in the world have suffered from a generation gap. Well, there is one area where there is no generation gap, and that's Irish traditional music, because young and old play comfortably together and can enjoy that music together. And last year, at the All-Ireland Fleadh in Enniscorthy, 230,000 people attended that event, 3 times greater than any pop festival that was ever held, and 10,000 performers attended also. I think that the present found are still living, and those who have gone to their eternal reward would genuinely say now that 50 years after the founding of Comhaltas, we have achieved what seemed to be the impossible. And in that there are many messages for those who may be skeptical, those who may be cynical, those who may be defeatist in their attitude, that if people approach any cause with goodwill, with respect for each other's traditions, using every opportunity to promote what would be a normal, respectful concept of humanity, that wherever people come together with that outlook, nothing is impossible. And I have no doubt that when Fleadh Cheoil finishes here after the weekend, and the thousands of people have participated, and the qualifiers have been selected to go on to Listowel, that the general feeling will be that this was a good occasion, a happy occasion, an occasion for all the people to work and enjoy life together. And that's my great wish for you here on this weekend. It now gives me great pleasure to officially declare open Fleadh 2001, and I hope that each and every one of you will have a wonderful occasion here this weekend. God míle maith agóibh, and thank you very much.